Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the game 2 of the set between Valas and Rubenstock on the Hitting Cup 4 Qualifiers, run of 64 best out of 5. We are on Rubenstock's home map of Gold Rush, and on the northwest side we have Rubenstock playing the blue Spanish. On the southeast side we have Valas playing as the green Britons. Gold Rush, where we have most of the map's gold in the middle. In this variation we have a hill and a sort of valley around this hill, one relic on top of the hill, and notably we have quite a large amount of wolves, or in this situation lions. And in the Hitting Cup 4 variation of Gold Rush they spawn consistently on this outer ridge, so to speak, this elevation here. Valas' map is quite open here on the front. He is relatively close to the middle here with not much wood lines, so it's going to be a bit tricky to wall here. Quite open. Here it's a bit better with wood lines quite tightly together with his main gold, main stone here. Elephant on each side, a few zebras behind this wood line, and no back resources whatsoever. Rubenstock's map is looking more or less the same, quite open towards the east here, with the main stone. He's about to push some zebra. Zebra has just beyond the berries, and also an ostrich, so several deer variants here. Extra pair of goats, elephant by the berries, elephant on the opposite side. No particular back resources, does have two wood lines to the southwest and one wood line here to the north, and Rubenstock is completely open, even more so than Valas on this wad end towards the middle, with the main stone being here. Britons are quite the archer civilization, being the classic archer civilization in Age of Empires 2, getting extra range every age for the foot archers, and having the infamous longbowmen from the castle as the unique unit with quite a long range. Only drawback regarding ranged units for Britons is that they do not receive thumb ring. Valas was Britons I was just speaking of, and Rubenstock is actually Spanish. With Spanish, you actually don't get even crossbowmen, so Spanish in the regard of archers are the opposite of Britons, since they do not even get crossbowmen. I believe they are, along with Bulgarians, the only civilizations which do not receive crossbowmen. However, Spanish villagers build 30% faster, and from their castles they get the wonderful Conquistador, which is a mounted gunpowder unit. Valas is also in game 2 going for a drush with a barracks, and he will be getting the 3rd militia now, and they are ready to go. At 6 minutes and 15 seconds they will start moving towards Rubenstock. We will see if they are not able. They looks quite fine. He seems to be aware of how the map variation of Hitting Cup 4 Gold Rush is. Lions and wolves only on the sides on the ridge here and not in the middle. However, on the regular meta variation there's plenty of wolves in the middle though. Rubenstock also building a barracks, might be also going for a little bit of a drush action a little bit later, albeit he is also starting to create militia and also walling up here. There is, however, also a hole here where Valas is able to go around if Rubenstock does not wall here. Rubenstock, having not being unaware of the approaching rush, sends his own one lone militia, and I wonder if he actually plans to go for a wolf rush, tempting one of these mighty lions, a few of them, to go towards Valas. However, it seems if that is the case that Rubenstock is not aware that unlike the regular Gold Rush, on the Hidden Cup 4 variation of Gold Rush, they all spawn on the sides of the middle. And not like the normal Gold Rush where all the wolves are in the middle. Perhaps Rubenstock was not aware of this fact, this difference from Hidden Cup 4 Gold Rush from the normal Gold Rush. Valas will be pushing here from the eastern front. So far no kills, we'll be causing some idle time and lost HP on a few of those villagers. Valas has trading also half the HP of one scout and one militia there. I do suspect that Rubenstock had it at least half in plan to have a little bit of a wolf rush. I do recall him mentioning doing a wolf rush on Gold Rush, but I don't recall if that was on his stream after this set or before it. Either way, that is not the case anymore, since it appears he's not going for it. And either way, at this point, it's more or less too late, since the player is usually completely fully walled. However, even though 10 minutes has gone by, neither player is completely fully walled. Valas will be starting to wall up this southwestern part of the map. Very neatly, he will keep one zebra in the base. He will be having a wood line here as a second wood line. Rubenstock still on one wood line. We'll be moving on to gold now with what appears to be 4 villagers. Perhaps some rush into fast castle shenanigans. We will see what will come to be. So far there has only been one kill, and that has actually been Rubenstock's kill, and I suspect that was the scout, if I am not mistaken. No, the scout is still alive, and look at that, he found one lion, but only one militia remains for Valas there, so it seems that one of the militia met his demise. He has plenty of juicy lions. Let's see if Rubenstock can keep his militia alive long enough to get them into Valas' base. And we have 2. 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 of them. He will be using the scouts to help to have the militia not die quite yet. Absolutely amazing. Rubenstock is now at the feudal age. Valas still being in the dark age has clicked up. However, let's see what he can do with these lions. Lion rush and gold rush. Let's go. Oh. Must be terrifying to be this villager right now. Valas will be able to kill 3 of the lions, but he failed to keep these villagers safe. There's still 3 lions. That villager is... Rubenstocks will help, but... Try to help. But Valas will kill that scout with his villagers, since it was very low on HP. Rubenstock succeeded to kill at least one villager with that lion rush. So, we have seen a lion rush in the beginning of the game. Exciting stuff. Let's see what the rest of the game has to offer. Valas has hit the feudal age, putting up a blacksmith and 2 archer ranges. So it seems he will be going for full archers, having 5 and counting villagers on gold. Ruben has as many as 7 villagers on gold. I don't see any other production facilities beyond the barracks, so it might be he's going for... I can't immediately say what I think he might be going for with so many on gold. He is Spanish, so it would certainly make sense to go for some fast castles shenanigans. Oh, he has already clicked up. I'm being very slow here today. Sorry, folks. Ruben has already clicked up. No one on stone, though, so I would expect a stable, though. Perhaps. Is there forward villager? No. Rubenstock is up to the castle age. He has advanced. 16, solid good timing. And here's the forward villager I missed. He will be going for a siege workshop in the middle. Ooh, if he's not careful. Oh, but that scout has low HP though. If Ruben notices it, sees the HP. Ooh, downhill, this is not good. Now he sees the HP. He attacks, but I'm afraid perhaps the scout has already gotten a bit too many free hits and that villager goes down. Feels bad, man, for Ruben, who has no other villagers here in the middle to assist in building a siege workshop, which will be considerably delayed now by a full minute and more. Ruben has put out his first knight, will not be getting any hits, getting more than half of its HP down. It will be taking care of that militia for all the trouble it's been giving him, putting this barracks on fire. Has been punished for his crimes now. Ruben has 2 knights now, third one coming in. One has really low on HP. Valas has gone forward with archers and 2 spearmen. With his 2 ranges, he has also advanced to the castle age and is now getting the crossbowman upgrade. And he has also already gotten... He is getting Bodkin now. Rubenstock will be going for a market at home. Some trades here. Front villager. Let's see if Ruben can pull off any shenanigans with it. And that villager is dead. Puts out 1 scorpion. Should be very nice against this feudal rabble. Well, not so feudal anymore. With Valas now having crossbowmen as well as spearmen. Rubenstock getting more knights out on the field. Having a few scorpions now. Valas has the hill advantage, so he might be able to snipe off maybe this. Yes, he snipes off 1 scorpion. But he retreats to make sure that Ruben will not get the hill instead from that hill. Valas is getting up a 2nd town center. Rubenstock is still only on 1 town center, but that allows him to put even more production into military and aggression to a larger extent than Valas. But Valas is idling from 1 town center though. Valas will be putting down his own siege workshop. And these are a lot of plenty of villagers. So 8 villagers forward now, to the middle at least. Rubenstock will be putting down a town center in the middle to further secure this spot of siege workshop and presence here. Valas will also further seek to control more of the middle, first with this siege workshop which he has already put up, and possibly also more to come with this villager currently building a house. Rubenstock will see if he can pressure anything with these 6 knights. There is indeed a hold here. Rubenstock will be able to just simply walk in and maybe be able to get a nice little villager snack. Yeah, that's 1 down. 2 down. Valas will be retreating with his crossbows to try and defend. And Rubenstock loses 1 knight. Rubenstock gets yet another kill from here. So that's 3 villages down from Valas for these 6 knights being able to just waltz in here. And it's a hole which Valas apparently has not been able to spot. There's 2 idle villagers here which he walled in fear of maybe Ruben finding them. And we have an army of 7 to start with, now only 5 scorpions. That's a lot of scorpions. Ruben selling surplus excess floating resources to keep his production up. Valas taking down a few scorpions. And this siege workshop from Valas will go down indeed. Ruben keeps producing, not at the moment from siege workshop, but still more knights coming from the very back of his base, waltzing all the way over the map to come join the fight. Valas holding the best he can with these crossbowmen. He's able to snipe off a few scorpions. There were in the beginning 7, now only 2 left, so that's 5 scorpions down. He is though now continuing to produce scorpions. They are in full force to production from the siege workshop. Valas will be putting down a second siege workshop, having his first one getting battered down. He will be putting down a new one at home. Otherwise, behind all this, he continues to boom with 2 town centers, now a third one, so 3 town centers. From Ruben, there still is only the one. Ruben is focusing, well, 2 with the second town center here as well. So Ruben on 2 town centers and Valas on 3. Ruben keeps pushing with the production of scorpions and also knights behind that. Valas has been able to kill off quite a few scorpions and a few knights here and there. KD is relatively even, 15 kills for Ruben and 13 for Valas. Ruben will now start pushing with a battering ram against this little archer range, which will go down. Production is idle, by the way, for Valas, at least concerning the archer ranges and barracks. He has put out 1 mangonel, otherwise he's just holding tight and only booming with little to no military production. He is relying on his existing military of 23 archer crossbowmen and this 1 new fresh mangonel, while Rubenstock is still pushing out, still having sustained production from the stable, now getting bloodlines. Valas will temporarily be pushing Rubenstock's force back, and Valas will be putting up a monastery to perhaps get some monk action out and possibly convert some of Rubenstock's knights. Ruben will now have an outpost so that he is able to see much sooner any ongoings from Valas. Valas will be reinforcing this wall, and one of Valas's villagers is having a nice little walk out and about. Quite injured with more than half his health gone. Quite dangerous, nice little walk out, but there you go. Valas will be pushing out from the north here with his force of now 27 crossbowmen, so he has replenished slightly. Now he has resumed production from his existing archery ranges. Still have that 1 mangonel and plenty of villagers here. 13 villagers, so we will see what he will go for with those, getting them forward, quite possibly a risk of losing at least some of them here. Some trade. Valas loses his mangonel, retreating with the villagers northwards. And Ruben pushes on with this quite intimidating force of 7, now again, scorpions. Valas will be losing yet another few villages, and Valas now has lost a total of 9 villages, whereas Rubenstock has only lost 1. Valas has also been forced quite idle this game in total, now a whole hour, whereas Rubenstock is only just under half an hour of idle time of villagers. TC idle time looking relatively similar, slightly more for Valas, also logically, since he is on 1 town center more. Bit more skirmish here in the middle. Rubenstock will be putting up yet another stable forward, 2 more stables forward to accelerate military production, also to exert more map control. Valas apparently just wanted a fresh wood line, which it is indeed getting with those villages, with the possibility of later on, if he does wish to do some shenanigans with forward base, he will have the possibility to do so, although those villagers are quite unprotected, but perhaps Rubenstock is not aware of them. But as of yet, they are not playing any important roles. Rubenstock is back in with the knights in Valas's base, putting some pressure on, causing idle time, but those knights will be losing their lives shortly, and there they go to the crossbowmen. Kill death ratio looking quite decisive. Exactly 2-1 in Rubenstock's favor. 44 down for Valas, 22 down for Rubenstock. And Valas has lost 12 villagers, which is exactly 12 times more than Rubenstock has lost. And Rubenstock is indeed controlling the middle since quite some time. And unfortunately for Valas, his main gold is on the side which has been quite exposed to being pushed. And he does have one remaining gold here he has been able to secure with a town center. But once these two tiles go out, they have just about 1200 gold left. And when they are depleted, Valas will really be in a tough spot since he does not have any control over the middle whatsoever. Rubenstock now securing it also with the castle. Rubenstock pushing ever forward. Now having claimed a total 50 kills, he will be sacrificing a few knights again, to hopefully cause some more damage by getting some more nice juicy vill kills and on maybe some idle time from Valas. Just at the moment seems that is not possible, but Valas sacrifices having control in the front, getting this town center, his gold town center, pushed by the siege from Rubenstock, and this is looking quite rough for Valas indeed. He will be causing these old 16 villages idle, and they have nowhere to go actually, and they will actually decide to build a completely fresh new town center here. Valas' entire economy is now idled, except for this bonus wood line, but little will that help him now, when all of his economy is idle. And where is his army? I believe his army has been more or less destroyed as well. Rubenstock with a complete military lead with 21 military over 8 military, and I can't immediately spot them where those crossbows went. They might have been annihilated. They are actually garrisoning. The remaining crossbows are actually idling inside the town centers, not doing much help as of now. But with only about 8 crossbows, there's not much they can do against an equal number of enemy knights. And this is looking quite dicey for Valas indeed, and the question mark just grows bigger and bigger of how Valas is able to get some control back over the gold and production, and I don't see any production anymore, and I think this is pretty much it. Valas getting out some spearmen, which I'm afraid will probably not do very much against upgraded castle age, upgraded knights. Unfortunately, Valas can't even afford the pikeman upgrade. Plenty of idols, 24 idols for Valas. He does have the villager lead, but 33 idle villagers having the same gather rate as 33 dead villagers. 33 and counting, I should say. Now it's more close to 40. He is desperately trying to save this town center for this list. Just one gold pile of 2 tiles he is the only one he has still control over, while Rubenstock is happily consuming away of all the gold in the middle of this gold rush map. Valas will be trying desperately to get some more safety in his home base with a defensive castle and also putting down more farms behind. Valas is also selling all the wood he has for any gold for desperately getting some more production out. He will be creating some mangonels from his siege workshop, as well as some more spearmen from his barracks, and they are, although they are only just still spearmen and not pikemen, so they are not doing that much damage as a pikeman, but it's better than nothing, I do suppose. However, when these scorpion arrive, the spearmen will not be able to do much. And the rams are already at the castle, and the castle is not even finished yet. So it's quite a dicey situation for Valas. At least he did get the castle up. Now the question arrives, will he be able to secure his economy enough to slightly claw back and get some kind of gold income so he can be able to sustain some kind of military production which can face off against Rubenstock's force of knights and siege. It does right now have plenty of stone to repair this castle, and those rams will also be going down to the villagers, lest Rubenstock kills the villagers or repairs his battering rams, neither of which are going to happen. Rubenstock will himself be putting a nice little castle here to further push, and this will deny the only gold left that Valas has access to. After that, Valas will be completely denied of any gold. And those settlers we saw earlier of 13 villages have now multiplied with a new town center. Rubenstock has now also put down a third town center, solidifying his boom behind this decisive military push, which has gone quite successful so far. Indeed, very successful indeed, as the KD is still very solidly more or less at 2-1 in Rubenstock's favor, of 124 kills and counting versus 65 for Valas. 63 for Valas even. Rubenstock once again idling quite a lot of villagers, 30 plus villages again for Valas idle, 35 and counting idle, idles 1, 2, 3, all three, more or less all three hometown centers are idled. The only economy which is left in peace now is this colony town center off on the side, which don't think Rubenstock just yet knows about, otherwise Rubenstock could very easily push this. But Valas will be attempting to pull off a little bit of a forward base with this town center, and we will see if he can accomplish any counter raiding or such like with it to get the enemy office back at home. His first main old town center is now getting pushed by scorpions, firmly out of the range of the town center. Rubenstock pushing ever so much with knights, still a very solid military lead of about 18/5. And he has very good production just near the base, so he's able to reinforce and replenish these military forces quite niftily. And the population is now 143 over 98, so it is still looking quite rough for Valas, and the question is, can he pull something off to make a comeback into this game? Rubenstock, having now noticed this town center, instead of trying to defend it, Valas will be trying to escape to maybe create yet another forward base out there in the corner. Rubenstock will be taking this TC promptly down very swiftly with 14 knights. Only 4 villagers garrisoning it will not save it against 14 knights. Rubenstock putting down yet another castle against this town center, and Rubenstock sustaining as much pressure as he is allowed to. And he just keeps getting as many vill kills as he can possibly get his hands on, and they are at 85 and counting. So, and we see Valas' villagers walking here in the middle of Rubenstock's home base. Just passing. Okay, a few of them, okay. And Rubenstock will be pursuing with knights, and we will see what will happen to the little adventure of these 6 remaining faithful here. And it almost seems like Valas is hiding villagers in corners now. I'm sure it's not going to get that bad of a game, but at this point in the game, 97, 100, okay, over 100 villagers have died of Valas. Valas has lost over 100 villagers, and Rubenstock only 2. That's right, only 2 villagers have died for Rubenstock, and at this point it was indeed well past any chance of recovery for Valas, and Valas calls it. And that is game number 2, and the score is now 1-1 between Rubenstock and Valas. Looking at statistics, the score, You see that Valas actually had a little bit of edge in the score of military. KD is a very brutal one, not quite 2-1 as we saw early on, but 176 to 97. Economy, once again, just like game 1, Rubenstock has collected the total most of in all resources. The only difference to the last game is that this game Rubenstock actually got the victory. Technology, Rubenstock first in all ages. Nice little standard fast castle of just about 16 minutes. Both players having a little bit of a rush action going on in Dark Age before that. Rubenstock using 3 castles, having a villager height of a nice 138, while Valas had a villager height of 96. And keep in mind, Valas lost over 100 villagers this game. So one could say he created almost 200 villagers this game, but for every villager he created, he had to create another one to replenish the over 100 villagers he lost in total in this game. And there's the timeline. So that's game 2, which went to Rubenstock.